Our Computex 2019 coverage is made possible by Seasonic, ASRock, Western Digital and Builds.gg. Check them out in the links below. Welcome back guys, it is Computex Day 5, it is the last day here and we are of course at the ASRock booth and we are saving the best till last. We have all these X570 motherboards to cover and we even have this big boy over here. Now this thing is heavy, I'm going to put it down and we're going to check out all these boards over here. First up I want to cover the X570 Aqua. Now you've probably seen this board sort of all around the internet. It's been on Instagram, it's been on Facebook, it's been on YouTube. Now this thing is a beast. To start off, ASRock are only running a limited number on these boards. There's 999 models only being produced and that is exactly what the price is, $999 US. Now you might be wondering what some of the features are. It's using the latest Intel Thunderbolt 3. There's two Type-Cs on the rear and there's one internal port which is handy if you're running things like cards and so on. We also have the latest Wi-Fi 6 that runs at 2.4 gigabits. We do get 2x NVMe PCIe Gen 4 and they both support SATA and PCIe. There's also the 10 gig Aquantia network card. ASRock have been adding those in a lot of their boards and it's good to see these in this latest generation. There's also the latest Bluetooth 6 and you might be wondering about the power delivery. On this board there is a 12+2 digital Dr. Moss VRM. And for the PCI Express layout, they're all the PCIe Gen 4. They run at 16, 8, and the bottom one is locked in at 4x. Now moving down to this interesting one underneath the Aqua is the X570 Creator. Now I won't spend too much time on this one, but this one runs pretty much the exact same board layout as the Aqua. It just doesn't have that fancy heatsink design as the Aqua does have that water block. I'll just actually touch base on that water block from the Aqua, which I just didn't do before. It is a full aluminum cover. The board weighs a ton. So you've got all that aluminum cooling for the NVMe slots under it. And then you have the block itself that also runs down to the chipset. Because on the new X570, the chipset is running a quite more powerful. So the older chipsets ran at 6 watts. You're looking at around 11 watts power and up to 15 watts of power for peak on the newer X570 board. So that's why nearly every board you see around here does have a chipset fan just to help with that power cooling. Now moving down, I covered a little bit on the Creator. It is a very similar layout as the Aqua, just doesn't have the water block, all that extra sort of a PCB cover, so it is going to be much cheaper. I don't have any price or ETA on that one, and it does also have the 10 gig network as well. Now moving over to the left a little bit, one board I am really interested in is the Phantom Gaming ATX TB3. Now yes, it is TB3 because it does have Thunderbolt 3. Not many ITX boards do have it, and it's sweet that this one has it, and I believe it is the first one that is ITX and has the Thunderbolt 3. Now a really interesting fact about this board, yes it is AMD, but it has Intel mounting for your CPU. So it has Intel holes, it doesn't have AMD holes, it still has the AMD retention bracket for your CPU, but the reason they've gone with the Intel mounting bracket is for better cooler support, and another reason why they've done that is the Intel sort of mounting for your CPU coolers takes up much less room on the PCB. So especially when you're going ITX, they want to save as much room for other components. That's why they've gone with the Intel mounting. Now they do have a vertical chipset cooler. It might be hard to see, but that does have a fan on it as well. And that also runs up to the I/O cover. Now that I/O cover may look like an I/O cover from here, but that is just a solid block of aluminum. This thing is a beast and it does weigh quite a bit. Because for the VRM delivery for this one it is an 8+2 digital VRM design, and we are also getting Wi-Fi 6 with the 2.4 gigabit, and I don't have a price on this one yet. And it's good to see that all these latest boards are coming out with built-in I/O shields. Even boards like the Extreme 4, the Steel Legend, those ones are more your mid-range, cheaper boards. It's just not on the ultimate high-end boards like you have seen in the past. Now you might be wondering, what about the Tai Chi series? And of course, ASRock are sticking with that because that's one of their highest end sort of models they have. And over here we have the X570 Tai Chi. Now we still have the 12+2 digital Dr. Moss VRM, and there is no Thunderbolt on this one, as this board is more sort of designed for your gaming setup, for those gamers out there, and you don't really need Thunderbolt for that. Now they have bumped up the M.2 support. We have a total of 3 PCIe Gen 4 M.2 connectors on here. 2 of them run at both SATA and PCIe, and the top one will run at PCIe only. And this board also includes the latest 2.4 gigabit Wi-Fi 6. Now another board I want to cover that is a very similar board layout, PCB layout as this one, is the X570 Phantom Gaming X. Up the top here to the right once more. It does have the exact same layout, same VRM design. It's mainly just a different color design, but the only difference on the PGX is it does have the inclusion of the 2.5 gigabit LAN, where the Taichi X570 doesn't have that LAN. It just has the standard 1 gigabit Ethernet. Covering some slightly lower end boards, we've got the Extreme 4 over here, and also a little bit cheaper is the Steel Legend. Now I really like how these boards are displayed and set up. I remember the Extreme 4 from earlier models from ASRock. You never had like the I/O cover. They didn't have the built-in I/O shield. Here we have a really nice M.2 heatsink for those 2 M.2 heatsinks, and you've got the fan in there. And I just think these boards give off that premium feel. And as I said earlier, I do love how both these boards do have that built-in I/O cover, and especially with the Steel Legend up here over there, you've got that RGB around the chipset area and also on that I/O cover, and that little white camo accent just really sets it off. Some of the specs on these, they do have an 8+2 VRM design, and they have the 2 M.2 PCIe Gen 4 slots. So these will be a bit cheaper than your higher end boards like the Phantom X and the Taichi. Now the last board I want to cover is, you might be wondering, where are the X570 mATX motherboards? That's because there aren't any except for this ASRock one over here. The one over on the right down the bottom is the X570M Pro 4, and as ASRock is saying, as of now, it is the only mATX X570 board on the market. It does have an 8+2 VRM design, but it is a little bit more basic than the other ones we've seen over there, and it still includes that chipset cooling fan, 2 NVMe PCI Gen 4 slots. So you guys out there that like your mATX boards, this is a board for you. So that's it for our AMD coverage here at Computex, and that also sort of wraps up all of our Computex 2019 coverage. So I hope you enjoyed all these videos. It was a heap of work for all of us. We are all very sore. We're all going to take a break tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you enjoy these videos, and stay tuned for other videos I have coming up in the next few months. Thank you.